Adolf Georg Wiedersheim Paul was a Swedish writer who spent most of his life in Berlin. He was born in 1863 on the Isle of Brummer in the Vannan Lake, the son of Alfred Fredrik Wiedersheim Paul and Hedvig Charlotta Cecilia Blix. The family moved to Finland in 1872, and Adolf attended the Turku Lyceum between 1876 and 1880, and then the Mustiala School of Agriculture, graduating as an agronomist in 1882. He also studied piano in Helsinki and became friends with composer Johann Sibelius. In 1897 he married Natalia Bremer, the pair having 5 children. He died in Berlin in 1943. His first plays, Heroische Komödien, concerning among others David, Goliath and Voltaire, came out in 1902. During his life in Berlin, he was a friend of August Strindberg and Edvard Munch among others. There they all frequented the pub Zum Schwarzen Ferkel. In 1920 Paul wrote Aus der Chronik des Schwarzen Ferkels, or From the Chronicles of the Black Pig, a fantasy set in this same pub, which we shall review today. The novel begins with several people who used to meet at the Black Pig, meeting again, years later, in a different locale, which eventually became the new Black Pig. The narrator, when entering the pub, sees a waiter who he knows to be dead, and whom another man who is hinted to be mortal says is a dead man who came back but now no longer remembers his past. Whereafter we are told of the beginnings of the Black Pig, and the story of the dirty skin hanging over its entrance as a shield, which was really the skin of a castrated ram. We see a group of poets and musicians headed by Master Unru enter the pub and make it their regular haunt. The innkeeper realizes his pub will eventually become famous, even if his artistic clientele won't pay immediately, and so one day he shares with them a special wine sealed with the seal of Solomon, which he bought from the eternal Jew. But he warns, those who drink the wine must reveal their greatest secret, but those who do not are doomed to die because of Ahasver's curse. As they drink some, the poet dreams the Black Pig confronts him and says some is the earth and that the pig is the moon, crushing him up into a ball and setting him floating into outer space. As he awakes in terror, he is drawn into an argument about the origin of man as a hermaphrodite being that lived in Eden inside the hollow earth, before their friend Helen comes in and says he killed someone. Helen, barely able to speak from shock, says how Lydia the musician had a wife he refused to let have children, but Helen became captivated by his wife until she refused to let him return to his own wife and child, wanting him for herself, and even claimed to be pregnant. But as Helen describes how he strangled Lydia to death a few minutes ago, Lydia returns, bearing a letter from Helen's wife, saying how their son died. Helen realizing he had in fact been strangling Ahasver. Following an argument about Master Unru's hatred of women, the Eternal Jew returns and mocks Helen, and pulls a box from his pocket, which fills the whole room with mice. Then he begins to probe Sam's mind, and mocks him in turn for his fiendish desire to see his wife forced into the arms of his friend as he would watch. But Sam, wary of Ahasver's intentions, forces him to drink his own enchanted wine, which makes Ahasver reveal that the mice are really gold pieces representing parts stolen from men's souls. Ahasver holds these, controlling the souls of their former owners even in heaven, and plans to amass enough to forcefully carry him into the heavens and curse Jesus, while throwing his curse right back at him, having gotten very bitter due to all that endless wandering. But Sam, who has had enough of this, is able to lure Ahasver into a wine bottle and seals him inside with the seal of Solomon. Then he walks home with the Eternal Jew in his pocket, at times a bit static but very, very weird.